Greetings, I am April R. Silver. I'm the founder and CEO of AKILA WorkSongs, which is a communications agency founded in New York, 1993. And before I get into what we do, essentially, I'd like to say I'm a very proud and happy member of IWA, the IWA Alliance, happy to be a link. And to jump into what we do, we're a communications and marketing agency, and our function is, in a nutshell, to tell the whole truth about people of African ancestry. And connected to that is us telling the truth about the progressive community at large all over the world. So we've had the honor to represent some of the most powerful, insightful, just amazing clients. Our clients are individuals, artists, activists, small nonprofits, large philanthropic, multi-billion-dollar foundations, initiatives, just the full spectrum. We've been able to be blessed to share their messages, their products, their services to the world. And we are grateful, we are honored, and hope to continue to do that work for many, many decades to come. The question that I get asked the most during COVID and prior to is, how do I get to the next level? We have found sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes that is code for, I want to be famous and I don't want to say it out loud, or nobody's listening to me, and I have a lot to say, and why can't I get people to listen to me? And I want to be more popular on social media. I want to be, I deserve such and such an award, and I'm not famous enough. And we will pause the client if we sense that their reason for wanting to express their creativity or their artistry is based in that kind of framework, because it doesn't get to the essence of service, and we are very much about service. Peter Block is someone that I've been quoting for a number of years now. He wrote a book called The Answer to How is Yes. And he reminds us that how is a process question. It is cerebral, and oftentimes it is disconnected from the core, real, essential reason for why one wants to pursue a human endeavor. And so when we get that kind of energy, and it's not always the case, but when we do, we will pause the client to say, let's not address how, but let's address why. Because in the absence of the client being grounded in the real reason why they want to pursue this endeavor, whatever it is, why they're coming to a public relations agency in the first place, if they are disconnected from that real reason, or if that real reason is not grounded in service, is steeped in ego or fear or frustration or proving somebody wrong, then we find that that person or that organization or the head of that organization is not as grounded as we would hope, or they would need to be, in order to surpass or be victorious over the bumps and bruises that come along with doing this work, doing whatever their work is, whatever their artistry is, whatever their passion. If one is not self-reflective enough, if one is not introspective, if they're not doing a deep examination, and they haven't gotten quiet, and they haven't gotten still, and there's a difference, then we find that they oftentimes don't have the stamina. They don't have the endurance. They're not willing to be rejected, or they're not okay with being rejected. They're not willing to do the sacrifice that's necessary. And oftentimes the sacrifice is harder than what we think, right? We oftentimes want to go straight to marketing and promotions, but we haven't built that operation. We haven't built in accountability and sustainability tools to make sure that we are doing this work more than just a one-off. We haven't done the work to make sure that we are pursuing our lifelong work as opposed to a hobby. We haven't done that work. So we need to work with people who are more grounded in the truth and the essence of what they want to do, and when that essence is connected to service and connected to a greater good, than bigger than a negative or an emotional impulse. We find that we're the best agency when people have done that work. That's a kind of self-care that does everybody a favor, and it doesn't waste your time, it doesn't waste our time, and it doesn't waste your money. So we want people to recognize the importance of that kind of self-care, that deep examination, that self-reflection, that being quiet, that being still, that being willing to put in the sacrifice and do the work even when it doesn't feel good. That's important for us to have that person come to us having done that work, or at least being willing to do that work. So that leads us into what I'm most excited about as a result of this horrific situation we find ourselves in, this global, this pandemic. The artistry that is emerging is totally inspirational. I've always said there's a difference between being creative and being an artist, right? And one of the key differences is sacrifice and doing that work and listening to that inner self. But we have found that people are listening to that inner self, and the artistry that is coming out is amazing. It's inspiring. It gives me so much hope. And I'm excited for the opportunity to escort that to the world. So on that note, again, I want to thank you, Chief Ayanda Clarke, for giving us this opportunity to say what it is that we do here at AKILA WorkSongs. So thank you again, and we wish you well.